Fitness doesn't have to be complicated or intimidating. Let's talk about it. This show is for beginners, people stepping into the gym for the first time, sorting through the diet fads, wanting to feel stronger and healthier. Here's where we get down to the basics: the training, the nutrition, the recovery, and the mindset. Leading the way is NPC bodybuilding champion and seasoned coach here to guide us. Over the years, he stepped on the stage at the Masters national level, where every detail counts. His competition highlights include, out of his last 10 shows, two runner-ups and eight first-place titles in circuits such as the Daytona Beach Classic, in addition to Orlando, Tampa, Atlanta, just to name a few, along with a host of other accolades, placements, and accomplishments. And in his 50th year in the gym, training consistently. All aboard. Welcome to the train. Choo choo with Barry Show. Hey, Barry, how's it going?
What's going on, Eric? You see, you're getting a little spicy with that thing, man.
Yeah.
50 years of training. Just wait till we say this is the 50th year of a podcast.
Whoa, wait a minute now. That's some forward projection. We
It'll
gotta
be
we gotta
something.
get through we gotta get through episode 6 here first.
I'm not sure how we're going to keep me upright, but we can do it. I probably can talk about it.
I don't think you have a problem with that. Energy doesn't seem to be an issue for you.
No,
I
I got
wanted
nothing
to
like
ask
that.
you.
So I would just be, what, 118. So I think that's doable.
Okay. I wanted to ask you, what's part of your morning routine that is non-fitness related? Do you have, I mean, do you have anything that you do like as far as a routine that you enjoy that's not necessarily fitness related, just to kind of
I mean, I enjoy. I play golf.
do you?
Not as much as I like to play, but I do play golf. I was talking to a buddy last night. We need to get together and play. But yeah, if I could probably play every day, I would definitely play every day. I'm not, wouldn't say I'm great at it, but I'm not bad. I mean, never for someone who's just kind of get out there and never really took any lessons and just started doing it on my own. I mean, I break 100, pretty regularly, around that area. But I think my best was ever, I want to say what was it, 88 one time, but that was, so it just depends. But yeah, if I had to say one thing that I do outside of training, it definitely would be that.
That's
I
cool. I
bike
didn't know
as
that.
much outdoors I used to. I used to love to road bike um, a lot. I just
Yeah.
thought that was pretty cool. Just the challenge. Like anything is just a kind of a challenge. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where you ride your bike and you do this time, and then next time you got to beat that time. Excuse me. So yes, so everything I end up for me ends up being so competitive. You know.
Okay. Well, I just
So
kind of I was curious about that myself, and I'm sure there's folks out there that might be curious as well. But another thing I kind of wanted to talk about was you told me a story about going to the grocery store, and we didn't talk about that on the show. You went to the grocery store and you gave the lady a lesson in the macros or proteins that are within some of the products there. Do you remember this?
oh yeah, well, did we not talk? So when I was in Lexington.
I'm not sure if it was in Lexington
Yeah,
or
where I went when I went in to buy some turkey, my second meal, which was still going to be early, and of course I was already ate my second meal. This would have been lunch, but lunch for me was going to be like 10:30, so it limited my choices of what I could really have, other than I could do eggs again. So I went to the grocery store up there and went into just want to. I thought, well, I'll just get some turkey out of the deli, and then I'll get a sweet potato and cook it in the microwave at the hotel. And I'm looking at the turkey, and I was curious because I always do anyway, looking at the labels, and it had 11% or 11 grams of fat.
it was a sliced turkey.
Yeah, for 2 ounces. And I'm thinking to myself, 2 ounces of turkey breast can't be 11 grams of fat. Then I looked at a couple other items. The other item was ham. It was 2 ounces of ham, 30 grams of fat. So I called the lady over, the deli. I said, ma'am, you work in the deli? She said, yes. I said, something's not right here. Because if you look at the numbers, I want to say the turkey, if I remember, and it's been a few weeks ago, I think I want to say it was 90 calories was the total. It had 11 grams of protein, which was correct, no fat, and then I mean 11 grams of fat, no carbs basically. So if you did the math, or 4 carbs, if you did the math, just the protein alone was 44 plus the carbs that was in it. And just the fat alone, I'm sorry, the fat alone at 11 grams would be, well, it'd be times 9, which is 99. So it'd be already over the amount of calories they said it was before you even did anything else. I said, man, this can't be correct. I said, the numbers just don't add up. She said, what do you mean? I explained it to her like that. And I said, well, right here. She said, well, it has to be correct, sir. The agricultural department does our scales, so it has to be right. I said, ma'am, I can assure you, if you want to look into it, that it can't be right. Let's look over at the ham. You said the ham is at 120 calories. 30 grams of fat is 270 calories. That's not even possible. I had my phone with me. I didn't take it in, but I wanted so bad to pull it up. You know, when I got to my car and pulled up, and I mean, turkey has 1 to 2 grams of fat per 2 ounces. Ham, maybe 2 to 3 grams, not that many. And I said, well, for what it's worth, I said, you just might want to look into it, because I got to believe for those who do look at this when they buy food, would look at that 30 grams of fat or that 11 grams of fat and probably losing business. And she said, oh, yeah, I'll check into it. And then I left. I knew I'd probably go back, and I don't think it'd be any different. Obviously, it's not really on there. It's not something they
No, she
really
walked
think
back and
about.
she thought to
Yeah.
herself, we got another one here.
I almost was going to get the manager, and I thought, you know what? I'm wasting my time here. I'm just
Next
talking to
time,
people.
next time, do it and videotape it so we can put it on the
There you
show.
go.
That we're 1 million subscribers.
But yeah, it's something I do look. I mean, I look at that a lot. Like when I'm buying, I encourage other people to do that. Not for it being. You rarely will see that being incorrect, but you do want to get an idea when you're eating something. How many grams of protein? Obviously, the protein, which is most important, the carbs and the fat. How it breaks down, and what would that look like, especially with the Lose It app, on when you're trying to plug in this many grams of protein, this many grams of fat, this many grams of carbs. That's what makes it easy to be able to plug in your food. And again, for me, it's easy because a creature of habit. I rarely eat much. I mean, what I eat today, yesterday, everything I eat today every day is the same. I had my 2 dozen eggs this morning, 2 breakfasts, and I just had chicken and a sweet potato and some broccoli. I don't really think about it. You know what I mean? I just do it. I don't really. I'm not saying most people, majority of people wouldn't do it, don't want to do it. There's a lot of variety you could do. Bowls are. I turned a guy onto a bowls who I work with, and he's cursing me now because he eats them every day. But there's so many different places you can go to. Moe's, Chipotle, so many places you can go, and then just healthier bowls you can buy. If you just Google healthy bowls in my area, you'd be surprised what comes up. And
No,
I
you,
love them
you
because it's such good. You can get quinoa, you can get brown rice, you can get so many things in there with your chicken or your steak or whatever you want to get with it. It's got some, and there's some vegetables are in there, so it's really good.
you turned me on to one back in the Planet days over at a place called K
Oh yeah,
Roots.
it's still around. They
And
moved.
man, I wore that place out. It was
Yeah,
so good. And I'd go in
that's a
there and I'd
great
get that
point.
same bowl. Yeah.
They're over off of Hot. They moved out. They've done well for themselves. They're down there by JTB at Hodges, across from the Publix. Have a
Okay.
beautiful new building they got, and it's beautiful inside. But I met a guy about a month ago. We went there. Yeah, same. Those bowls are really, you can get broccoli, you can get Brussels sprouts, you can get
All
pretty
of it.
much
Yeah.
whatever vegetable you want. So
Oh
you get
man.
two
Yeah, they had a
proteins, two
system.
vegetables,
Hmm.
two car. There's a place in Riverside called the Vale Food Company, and I ate there Saturday. Same deal. You just go down the line and pick what you want in it.
Well, I
It's
think it's awesome, especially, I downloaded that Lose It app
did you?
and yeah, and I plugged in my information here and I got on my scale and my scale, I think I need to get a bigger scale because I topped out at 300 and I think I'm about 305, I want to say. And that's pretty on par for what I've been.
Right.
So I plugged that into the app. It asked me what I wanted to be, and I tried to pick a achievable goal here first. which
Sure.
I threw in 275. What do you think about that? That's about a good 30 pounds.
Yeah, it should be very, very obtainable. Very, I must say it's easy, but yeah. So be curious to know. So what was your, how many calories they want you to do that?
So they gave me 2782 calories.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? You ain't anywhere in that ballpark, are you?
I don't know where I am. I don't
Now,
think so. I don't think so. I mean, to be honest, I've never counted calories, so I'm kind of new to doing that.
what I'd like for you to do, and then when we talk about it next week, is go ahead for a couple days, plug in what you've been doing. You know what I mean? What you maybe ate a couple days, two times recently, just to get an idea where your number is now,
Okay.
and then see what you got to do to make that happen. But I'd love to know. I would be surprised if you're anywhere in the ballpark of 2,700. People always say, "Oh, I eat a lot. I eat a lot of food." And then you start plugging those numbers in, and you
You think
realize,
I'm you think I'm over or under?
oh, under, way under.
I'm way
2,700
under.
is a lot of calories. You're up there what I'm doing, and I mean that's I'm working to do that. I'm 2 dozen. I said, it might be cleaner food, but I mean eating 12 ounces of chicken at a time twice a day, 24 eggs, another 12 ounces of beef. I mean, I eat a lot of food to get around 3,500. You're not that far off that number. It's just a lot of food.
Yeah.
Um, I just would be curious to know what that would look like.
And when you eat clean, it almost seems like it's more dense food, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
which is why you
Fills
feel
you up,
full.
but you get fuller faster. The protein fills you up.
Yeah.
That's why you got to take in the carb. I mean, the carbs are the key to that. Again, people who are doing, even if it's a high protein, high fat, the carbs is what I call is the glue for me. It's that sweet potato I just had totally fills me up. The oatmeal I have totally fills me up and carries me, but also gives me energy. And when we talked about that, and people again talking about the keto like we did last week, I looked some stuff up that I had written down a long time ago. When you're lacking carbs, what ends up happening obviously is you first of all you'll hold water, store hold water, just kind of have it be a little bit uh, water retention wise. So you do hold water when you cut your carbs. Obviously your energy drops, which will affect your workouts, no doubt about that. But muscle, again, remember, can burn as fuel. People think if I don't take in carbs, my body's going to burn more body fat because I'm not doing it by the carbohydrates. And the fact is that is your glycogen. So you're going to have to burn something. It will burn muscle for it to burn fat
Well,
just because it's a richer nutrient.
that's a clip that I pulled not from the last show, but I think episode number 4, where you mentioned something that was surprising to me and maybe many others also, that when your body does go into that state of consuming and burning, it's going to focus on the muscle because it's a more of a dense, I think the way that you
But
put it, it's more of a
yeah,
dense nutrient,
it's got more dense, it's just got richer nutrients. You know what I
a
mean? So
richer
it ends up
nutrient.
having where your body they'll utilize that and burn that as fuel, as well as it will stress your hormones out. So on the vice versa, that as far as the opposite, obviously you're gonna build muscle, which the carbs, I guess, because it's going to affect your workouts. You're going to recover faster, um, and your body lets go of stored fat. So the carbs you take in, again, the cleaner carbs. So another thing I did, I failed to mention something I've been doing really for a long time. I don't eat any carbs after 6 at all.
Really?
I don't none. But if you get again, if you get because your metabolism slows down as the day goes on. So I was always taught toward the evening time, your body's not going to burn it as well. So that's always been a staple of mine. I'll eat. You can eat. I'll have protein. Like my last meal, if I'm eating after 6 and at 7 o'clock, is going to be lean beef, ton of vegetables. I love doing the stir fry vegetables as well in a big salad. And that's been my way forever. I'm just something I was told from whoever years ago, and I followed that to the day. I don't eat any carbs. You won't see me any sweet potato, baked potato, rice, anything like that after 6 o'clock. I just mainly protein and veggies. Like if I've gone back in the day, I used to go to I help guy out Friday night football games. I get home at 10 o'clock. I would eat egg whites and broccoli. You know what I mean? It's just fuel. You're not going to store all that is just fuel. You're not going to store any of that. You have a better chance of storing your carbs after 6 than you would obviously anything else as far as fuel goes.
So is it my poor eating habits that is giving me the sweet tooth at night, or am I just weak and need to toughen up?
No, I think again, if you looked at what carbs you're taking in again, and just being hungry most of the time, especially when you eat. So most people always tell me, um, when I eat, I get, I'm hungry. I want to eat again. You know what I mean? Because again, they started that little fireplace, and all of a sudden now they got a metabolism, so they prefer in their mind to not be hungry because that must mean then if I'm not hungry, I'm not eating, I'm going to burn this body fat off,
Yeah,
which is totally the opposite. But the sweet thing, you know what? Again, as I've said, I wouldn't deprive anybody of anything. You know what I mean? For you to have depends on what your poison is, but 2 cookies a night, excuse me. But it could be.
I
Like I
see.
found this, and I've already forgot the name of it. I'll have to get it. It's a yogurt. It's a blueberry yogurt I get at Walmart. But it's high. It's high. I want to say it's 25 grams of protein. I'll take that yogurt, put also more fresh blueberries on it, and then some granola. Man, that stuff right there, to me, it's just like eating ice cream. I'm not kidding you.
I'm down for
It
that.
is really good. That kind of thing you can do. The other thing I had a lot of clients do back in the day, which is really good, is get a really good protein powder and just put water in it to mix it into a pudding and
Okay.
put a little paper towel over it. I had one lady did it. She was getting a vanilla protein powder, made pudding. She put some fresh strawberries on it, put in the refrigerator, let it chill for about an hour and get it out. And that's what she would eat. And I'm going to tell you, it's just like pudding. And it's depending on what flavor you got, that's another thing. So there's other things you could do
Sure.
to help do that. But my theory or what I believe is, again, when you start, if you really lock in and start doing this and people start doing it, you're going to want less and less of that. I really do believe that. Again, I'm not a guy that's going to pretend that I don't think about it all the time. You know what I mean? Honestly,
All the
when I
time.
have, well, I mean, when I have my ice cream and brownie on Saturday night or Sunday, whichever night I'm not working, I can promise you, I think every time the next night, maybe I'll just make a little small bowl ice cream. I mean, every week, it doesn't change. But then as the day goes on, as I get closer to my next treat day, I want it less because now to me, I look at it as a reward, and there's no way I would have it on a Tuesday or Wednesday because then I can't have it on Saturday and even enjoy it, nor would I. So most of that is a mental game,
That's
truthfully.
discipline. Yeah.
Yeah, it is discipline, but you build that as you go. As I talked about that time in doing seminars when people would say, they come up to me, I'm gonna go home and throw all my junk out of my, I said, don't go do that. I mean, you're gonna go out and buy it again. You know what I mean? Just get to where everything in moderation. That's the worst you got to worry about is if you can establish like they're asking you to do on Lose It, and you're doing those 2,700 calories, and then the day you like a chocolate chip cookie and you can eat 1 or 2 little chocolate chip cookies, that's a blip on your radar. I wouldn't just, you know what I mean? That is nothing. The difference is, can you do that and not eat, like we sent you that little reel today about the guy in the Oreos, you know what I mean? Two
Oh,
big bags of
yeah.
Oreos. I'm just saying, and I know it's a joke, but can you control yourself to be able to do that? Or would you have to go cold turkey until it takes, they say, 20 days to change your palate, literally,
Oh,
to
really?
where 20 days to change. And I had a lady who did that who loved chocolate. Actually, it was Jean from Jean's Body Tech in Atlanta, truthfully. And I got with her, and she was always great shape, but she was a long distance runner. She was a rollerblader. She did weights, but she was very diversified in what she did. Aerobics. She had one of the best gyms in Atlanta, in the country in the 80s and 90s, really. Um, but I got her on that, and she said she went back. She did not enjoy the taste of it after 3 weeks when she went back and had a little bit, because you will change your palate. And I find that with me, even in what I eat, well, some things I used to enjoy that I don't, not even, I'm talking about even sweets. I'm just talking about general food that you get used to not eating, that you go back to what you thought was good. It just doesn't taste the same as it used to be. But that is true. They say it takes 20 days to change your palate. So that would be another thing. I think the longer you kind of stay off, you'll go back, and it won't. I don't think you'll have that same craving. But it's one of those things I think you got to work into. So kind of
I
go
got
from
you.
there. I got just to let you know, I got a little mail. I know you get all the mail.
You got some
Nobody really
mail?
ever responds out to me. I think they're a little afraid, but I mean, you're the kinder, prettier face, so they want to talk to you. But yeah, the lady we talked about a couple weeks ago, I told you that was wanted to trim her stomach down or whatever, and I got
Yeah.
her to download the Lose It app, and we were talking about how I was saying that you were saying that you didn't think she'd be able to do it.
No, no, no. You said that.
No, I'm just
So
playing.
we got it on tape. I'm gonna clip it. I'll put it up.
No, I'm just busting chops. So yeah, and
All
so
right.
she was like, I knew that would, I didn't know that, but so she, like I said last week, she hit the
Did she
ground
see
running.
that? Did she
She
hear you
just
say that?
jumped in the, huh?
Did
Oh
she
yeah, she
hear
saw
that?
it.
She.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Glad
So,
I
but she just
distanced
jumped in the
myself.
pool. I mean, she didn't put a little foot in the pool. She jumped in the whole pool. She got the next day, as I said last week, is doing it. But she sent me a nice, sent an email just saying that her motivation, obviously, she listened to the broadcast and she was working hard at it. The picture she sent me was from her in the gym working out,
Oh,
which
I
was
know you love
very
that.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's something she's really never done. And she said the motivation for her was obviously looking better, and as well as she has a lot of bad health in her family, high blood pressure, diabetes, and she's trying to reverse that curve. And so first thing she wants to do is be able to get off of the high blood medicine, which not just me, people have had great success in doing that I've worked with, and I'm sure many people been able to do it if you follow, excuse me, a good training program and a good nutrition program. Eventually, you'll be able to wean off that high blood medicine. It's always going to come back to food and a lot of sodium, a lot of things that causes that to spike. I mean, it can obviously be genetics, but doesn't mean you. But that's her goal. And then she also mentioned, because I think I said, remember in the podcast, I thought she was around 60. Probably looks 60 maybe. She's 72, which blew my mind. I mean, 70. She does not look 60 at all. And a lady I trained yesterday lives in Atlanta. I was telling her the story about this lady, trying to encourage her, and in one way or another. And she was saying, "Well, Barry, I'm 80, and this lady, if the other lady looks 60, I thought this lady, I'm not sure looks 60, but she walks 4 to 6 miles pretty much almost every day, but she weights trained twice a week. Been training, I've been training her. Started training her back in the 90s, I want to say. But I got to thinking about it, and my guy I trained tomorrow, Big Dave, who's a beast, he's 73.
Wait a
So
minute. Do I know Dave?
yeah, you know Dave Linger.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
he just
Dave.
come over to Planet. He's still at it and just pumping the heavy iron, and the guy's amazing. I mean, he hadn't aged any. He hadn't aged since I met him 26 years ago, truthfully.
Yeah.
So I got to thinking about, and I try to encourage. I mean, I'm high strung. Obviously, I'm wired. I'm all about getting the best you can get, trying to get bigger, trying to get harder, all the pretty bodybuilding stuff and all that. But at the end of the day, I've always said it's about just health. At the end of the day, quality of life, and people are searching for the fountain of youth, and fountain of youth it's working out, having a consistent workout program, and a good nutrition program. And for these people who do that and are doing it, the ones who've been working with me, and I'm sure have been working at it for a while out there, they can attest to that. Because these people are in the 1%, truthfully. Like I was telling her yesterday, 80-year-old, go out and pick you out 15, 80-year-olds that you know from church that you go to and put them up next to you. You know what I mean? They're not. She's in a different league. Dave's in a different league by far. With the people in his life. Most of them got really bad health problems, bad issues going on, struggling to walk, struggling to do whatever. And this guy doesn't miss a beat. He hadn't missed a beat since we started, seriously. As strong today as he was 26 years ago. He's
Yeah.
one strong dude.
Strong
So
guy.
anyway, I think that's cool as far as that part of it and getting that down. And again, but it's not about just going to the gym. Like guy I saw in there today, And like I said, I always like to pick a winner of the week. And you know what? It's so easy. You can do it daily. But I did 12 sets of shoulders. And the time I did 12 sets of shoulders, he had done 4 sets of incline barbell press, just 5 reps apiece, 4 sets of 5. And he got up, he got his backpack, and he left. Now I'm thinking to myself, again, I know my clients get on me all my years of saying, well, at least he's in there, Barry. And I guess, yeah, at least he's in there. But I'm not waking my butt up at 6 a.m. in the morning. Like this morning, I woke up because I worked later than I wanted to last night. I could have slept in easily. I was like, you know what? Do I want to wait and go in later this morning, or do I want to wait? And I'm like, just get up. I got up and had my breakfast. I went to the gym, and I'm glad I did it. But I'm not getting up if I'm going in. If I knew I just had to go in and do 4 sets of 5 on the incline press, I'm not doing it. I mean, I'm not sure what it is about. But he was on. But in the meantime, again, same thing. He was on his phone in between sets. He probably rested 5-8 minutes between sets before he did his next set. Because it
Wow.
probably took me
Quality rest.
Probably took me 30 to 35 minutes to do those 12 sets. Because every set I do, I'm progressing up the weight. I'm never the same weight. I'm always built trying to do more than I just did on all the stuff I do. Everything is a jump up. So anyway, it probably took 30 to 35 minutes. It took him that long to do 4 sets of 5. And then he got his backpack and he left.
Well, some people are just genetically gifted, I guess.
No, you're right. I forgot about that. I didn't realize it. No, he just looks like, he's not. He looks like a football player. I mean,
Big
literally
guy.
looks like a line. He looks like a lineman. He's a big boy. I mean,
Yeah.
he's big in his clothes, but he's big everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
he's just from probably his size of his chest or his back is the same size of his waist. You know what I mean?
Okay.
He's just a thick dude. But again, that's what I discourage. I just want people, as I call it, I've always called it method you demand. Have a plan. Just go in, work your plan. Always trying to take the weight up. You just always got to be trying to, because where you are is where they're always going to be. 15s will never get easier. Ever will get easier if you don't ever try 20. If you don't ever try 20, 15s are always going to feel like 15. One day you'll get one more rep. One day you get one less rep, depending on how your food goes. But at the end of the day, you got to get rid of those 15s and should be opening with 20. And once you master the 20s, you open with the 25. And who knows what that number is? They don't keep always going up, up, up. Again, genetics and everything plays into that. Different people, some people are stronger than other people. This is what it is. But at least find out what you're capable of doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that from what I'm getting, from what I'm hearing you say, it's great that you're going in there and doing something. That's fine if you need a pat on the back, honestly,
Right.
to say that it's good that you're here. That's
Right.
great. But that's really not gonna help you unless you have a like you said, a method or a plan, and you're intentional about pushing the weight. You're not just moving it just up and down. You actually are you have a goal weight that you're getting to, and you have a starting where you're starting from. And as long as there's a plan there, it seems like it'll be more beneficial. But something you said I think is refreshing, not just for me, but I'm sure, excuse me, for a lot of people listening, is that it's not any easier for you to get up at 6 than it is anyone else.
No
You
doubt about it.
mentioned that at 6 o'clock in the morning this morning, you're having a conversation with yourself, and you had to tell yourself, I'd rather get it done right now. And
Yeah, I
you
woke
still
up
have the same conversation and same struggle that anybody else has.
100%. Alarm went off at 5:30. I woke up and I thought, I'm tired. I think I'm gonna go down. Should I go down and eat and then go back to bed? What I normally will do. If I'm not going to the gym, I'll go back to. As soon as I eat my first breakfast, I go back to bed and I sleep about an hour and a half, and I'll get up and I'm ready to go again. I'll eat my next breakfast, and I'll go about my day. But my preference would be to get in the gym, be in the gym at 6:30, no doubt about it. But I have that conversation with myself many times during the week. Honestly, I mean, I just do it. I don't know anything else other than that. I prefer to do it. Less people in there, easier to get what I need to get done. If I go in there, I know it's going to be like at 10 o'clock, and it's not going to be good. It's going to be crowded. It's going to be, trying to get to a machine or wait on a machine or wait. I just would rather just get in. The earlier you go, the better you are. Not to mention, I think I've said somewhere weeks back that they say 90% of people who go to the gym in the morning are still doing it a year later.
Oh, really?
because nothing gets in. You know what I mean? Like no matter what I would have done for the rest of the day, or let's say something got in your way, work wise. Like I talked to my favorite guy is this guy I trained, and he's not. He's like he's in the first 3 days, and he texted me the other day. Said, "Hey man, he showed me his look. Sends me a picture of what he biked. He biked like 10 miles. He said, I'll be in the gym tonight." And then I saw him the next day. I said, "What are you training?" So I got shoulders, you know. And I said, "Well, thought that was last night." "Oh yeah, I didn't make it in, man. I got off work and ended up just going to have some beers with some friends." And so, point being, I mean, again, now if he'd have got his butt up in the morning time and went and done it, he'd done it. He can do whatever you want to do the rest of the day. My day is made. Like, I don't care what happens the rest of the day for me. I got my workout in. I'm good. I'm golden. That's most important to me. And so, those who do that, families, children, whatever the case may be. I've had a lot of moms, a lot of wives that would come in at 5:30, 6 o'clock before the kids ever woke up, you know what I mean? And then be back home, time the husband goes up, does the bread, and then her day is made. But if she waits and deals with all that, she's not going to make it in the gym. So that's why, I mean, it's a pretty good little study they did, but I think it's pretty accurate. Those who train in the morning, you have less stuff getting in your way because you don't know what's going to happen the rest of your day.
Well, that's actually leads to the question that I was going to ask you, but I think you pretty much answered it. How can I stay consistent when life gets busy? And I think the answer to that is you got to get it done early.
Yeah, you got to go in. I mean, I think you know, it's just a routine. It's just, and again, I'm in there 6 days a week in the morning. Um, I'm just asking most folks twice a week, 2 days a week. So in what is that, 140, 168 hours a week, I need somebody to do 2.5 hours, 3 hours out of those 168. Seriously, you kidding me? You can't, I mean, depends on what your goals are. Depends how serious you are about it. But yeah, there's no doubt. You know how your schedule is, and with your wife and things that you got going on at the household. The last thing is going to be at the end of the day, especially when she comes home after working. You're not going, "Hey, I'm going to go to the gym," and you ain't seen her all day long. You know what I mean? So in the morning time, most of the time, the other person is usually in bed asleep. Is it a challenge to jump up and go get dressed on your own and do it? Yeah, no doubt about it. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, if you can incorporate that, and you know how you felt when you used to do it back in the day when you were at Planet. I mean, it's just your whole mindset changes your whole mindset. It's inspiring. It just, lifts you up. It's a good feeling to go in and be able to conquer something like that
So there's
and walk out
definitely
of
a
it.
mental impact to getting it done early.
Oh, yes, no, there's no doubt about it. I think I mean, again, there are some people wired to just have it in there. I used to train. They say that the best time of day to train, what I've always read, was 4 in the afternoon to 7, as far as your body being at the peak testosterone level to be at your strongest. And I used to play with that in my mind. There was a day back when I used to bench, I could bench 405 at the time, anytime I worked out in the afternoon or evening. I could not bench 405 to save my life at 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock. Now, I don't
Really?
know other than maybe it was mental. I'm not sure what it was. Just wasn't as strong on my chest stuff. And then maybe it was mental because now I'm as strong, once I started doing it, because I've always ended up. It's funny, when I lived in Atlanta and I moved here, my goal was, and had a gym. I bought a gym when I moved here. I thought, you know what I'm doing? I'm sleeping in. I'm gonna have my breakfast, eat my second breakfast, get my daughter up. I'm gonna drive her to school. And then I'm gonna start my first client at 9 o'clock. And I'm not lying to you. Somebody gave somebody my number, and she called me up. First person I had. She said, "So Barry, is there any way you can do 5:30 in the morning?" I'm thinking to myself, that's not what I was thinking. But it was the first client I had when I moved here. So I was like, yeah, I can do 5:30. And it just took off again. And I was back doing my 5:30s, and that's just how it worked. But I found most of my business was 5:30, 6:30, 7:30, 8:30 in the morning before people went to work.
Yeah. I think
So
that probably is going to be the best time to get a
I
workout
don't
like
know that there
that
is another
in
time. You know
there.
what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, maybe there is, but it's just a different person. It would have to be a single guy or single woman, number one, after work. But if you don't have no family life, for the most part, you probably get by with doing that. But majority of people couldn't. Not to mention that gym in there from 5 to 8, and you remembered Planet was
It's a
can barely walk in
madhouse.
there. Yeah, it's a madhouse, and it's
Yeah.
just you want to deal with all that.
No.
Trying to get on a machine or wait on something. It's just I like just getting in, getting it done, and being done with it.
Well, the producer man is
Not again,
flashing
man.
the light on us.
I thought we were
So
on a roll.
we're on a roll, but it goes by quick. Tell people how they can get in touch with you.
Train with Barry, and then I think we talked about you were mentioning Train with Barry's got my number on there. They can reach out. Actually, the young lady Rosemary reached out to me on Messenger, and it
Okay.
just popped up, and it said, "Will you accept a message from her?" And I knew who it was, and I did. And I said, "Now she's logged in with me." So there's a lot of different ways as far as Facebook Messenger, Train with Barry. Either one of those would do it. And then you
Yep.
were mentioning something about the app itself, or about the now you know what I did the other day, real quick. I know we got to go. As I was at the gym, and I pulled it up on Spotify,
Yeah.
and I listened to one of the episodes while I was walking on the treadmill. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm getting
I
them
don't know
up
how many
on
people are
Spotify.
using that or doing it, but yeah, it's on. You told me I was on Spotify. I wanted to see, and sure enough, it came up.
Spotify, iHeart, be sure to subscribe. There, it doesn't cost anything to subscribe. It kind of helps boost us in the algorithm, and it's a free way that you can support the podcast. But until next time, reach out. There's a description in the video, and you can go right over to Barry's Facebook page from the link there and send him a message. Until next time, that is it, everybody. For me and Barry, we'll see you next time. Say goodbye, Barry.
Take care. I'll talk to you later.